This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jeff Gardner.
Welcome to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have another good neighbor on, Justyna Truskolaski of Innisfil Backyard Bounce. Justyna, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How close was I to the last name?
It was pretty close.
Yes. I practiced it like 15 times before I pressed that 1, 2, 3 button. Justyna, welcome to the show. Happy that you are here, especially because I've used your stuff before and I saw the joy it brought to, there's about 400 and something people at that Super Soaker block party from start to finish. Never at one time was there that many people, but from start to finish, we clocked in, I think, about 408 people, and about half of them were kids. And you brought a lot of joy to their lives, and you got me soaked from a dunk tank. So that was fun. They dunked us a lot. We put a lot of ice in there, and then we got a pie in the face, but we raised a lot of money for charity. It was just a fantastic event. That 5 hours or so went by so fast, and just seeing those kids run around in that bounce castle or obstacle course, whatever it was, and the joy they got from dunking us, they're almost evil, those little shits. So I'm already spoiling it. What is it you do? What is Innisfil Backyard Bounce? Justyna, tell us about it.
Yeah, so basically we are a children's entertainment party rental company. So we have everything from bouncy castles to soft play, dunk tanks, tables and chairs, but our majority, like our main focus is the bouncy castles. So we have probably close to 50 bouncy castles currently.
Wow.
Yeah, so all different shapes and sizes. So mainly how we work is people actually come and pick them up themselves. So we're kind of eliminating that labor factor. So we're saving our customers on money. Yeah, and they get to keep it. Mostly they come pick up on Friday and they get to keep it for 48 hours. And then, yeah, they get to enjoy for the whole weekend, essentially. And then, yeah, we do also offer some deliveries on occasion. We do have TSSA certified units, so we can offer the public parties now. And yeah, we're just kind of moving slowly up and up the ladder a little bit.
So the public party, was that what we did?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because you guys set up all of that for us.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Okay. So that's, you do that now, but that is a larger event, would you say?
Yes.
Compared
so
to
anything, yeah. So anything that has, that's for the public needs to be TSSA certified, which we are. And then, yeah, we can absolutely do public events now too. So not just the backyards now we can kind of offer more things.
Yeah. No, you guys did a fantastic job. Setup, dealing with you guys was great. You guys took care of everything. It was just fantastic. So it's not too often that we have our clients on the show so we can talk about personal experience with them, but it's not too often that we have a non-client come on the show that we've used their stuff before, and then you just happen to get nominated to come on the show as well. It's very cool, kind of positive reinforcing cycle. It's pretty cool how it all happened. So how long have you been in business for, Justyna?
4 years now.
4 years. And what led you to doing this? Like, I just love the story. At the end of the day, the people that come on the show know that we're marketers, and the core of that is what? It's human connection. And how do we do that? Storytelling. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, human beings connect through story. That's how we do it. You want to relay facts as well and as much logic as possible, but really it is about that emotional connection through storytelling. And the backstory of how people chose to get to where they are in life. Like we just finished a podcast with Santa, and he is Santa for 3 months of the year. Well, yeah, November to December. So 2 months of the year. And I'm like, how did you get there, man? Like, what made you decide to be Santa? So for you, what made you decide? Because similar, both are catered to kids, essentially. What made you decide to be Innisfil Backyard Bounce?
Good question. So we moved here 4 years ago to Innisfil. I was a hairdresser. I'm a hairdresser by trade. It was in the midst of the pandemic, and I obviously could not work. So we're like, what the heck are we going to do right now? My husband's
Is
buddy
this you and your husband?
Yes. Yep. So my husband was like, well, my friend here, he does bouncy castles. I'm like, bouncy castles? I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. Let me see this stuff. We literally took off, and it was crazy successful our first year because we were curbside pickup. We didn't have to deliver. Everybody just came to us. They picked up. They had fun, even if it was just mom, dad, and the kids. They got to do something. Parks were closed. Everything was closed, and they were still able to have that little joy that we kind of really, really needed. And it took off the following year. People were starting to have more parties and all of that. And I kind of had to put my hairdressing on the side because this was taking over. Like we blew up. We blew up really fast, really quick. And I think it shows in our products, in the care. Like we put a lot of care into what we do. And I think that really shows. And that's why people keep coming back to us.
And how's been so COVID was such an interesting time. I mean, it was such an anomaly. Unfortunately, some businesses they're done.
Yeah.
Some businesses are still struggling to recoup the damages, essentially, the losses from COVID, and other businesses exploded. It's hard to base the future on what COVID did because it's over now, essentially. Like we've kind of rebounded from it. So the first 2 years were crazy for you. I get it. Curbside pickup, people wanting to have some semblance of joy in their life. Yeah. How have been the most recent 2 years with having that early success? Is it still going strong?
Absolutely. It's been even better than we could have expected.
Which is an amazing 4-year journey, because the first 4 years of most business trajectories are very difficult. Very slow moving, very, very difficult. Those first 4 years we were talking about in the pre-show, just tragic statistics around business failure rate. It's usually around 60% in the first 5 years and about 80 or more percent, depending on the study you look at in the industry, don't make it to 10 years. So for you guys to have an explosive 4 years is great. And is it you and your husband, or is there more on staff?
So I am the primary one that rules it. He's just the muscle man. I use him for help, which sometimes he, wants to punch me for it, but it's okay. He has no choice.
Yeah.
My 2 kids, I have 2 boys, 13 and 16. So my 16-year-old is ready. He's ready to go for this upcoming season. He's excited because he's going to have his driver's license. So he's going to help us with deliveries. And then I have a whole mom squad of ladies that I absolutely love. And those are the ladies that clean and scrub those bouncy castles clean. And without them, we would not be here where we are today without them.
So they're part of the staff for the season, I'm assuming? How does that work? Yeah.
Yes, for the season.
And so what is your season?
So basically whenever that snow melts and the weather is beautiful. So last year, I think we started mid-April because it was pretty mild out. And we actually were up until almost, November 2nd we kind of shut it down because now the weather's kind of getting a little bit unpredictable. So it's hard to get those bouncers clean at the end. So it looks like kind of April to end of October. That's kind of where we stand with our season.
And so what do you do from November to March?
Plan for the next season. So we try to find out, what's the next hot thing that's going to come out for next year. We do a lot of soft play. So soft play is very popular in the winter months. So that's probably great for kids, maybe 4, 5 and under. For indoor play.
What does that mean, soft play?
It's basically like a soft playground that we bring. So it's all padded, it's all foam. So the little kids, they won't get hurt. We put a fence around it. There's mats, so they're very safe. There's a ball pit. Who doesn't love a ball pit? It's really fun. And then we also do our indoor bouncy castles, which most of the time they do have to be the TSSA certified ones, which now we are certified. So we can provide that service now for the winter months as well.
So you guys are all year round.
Yeah, pretty much. So we'll see what this year has in store for us.
So this will be the first season where you guys are full service all year round with the soft play and the indoor bouncy castles.
Yeah. Yep.
Very cool. Love it. Love seeing the trajectory of how a business evolves. It's a very cool thing. So big part of this show is not only the storytelling and connecting with our local businesses, promoting them, getting them out there, sharing their stories, but it's also about education. Every industry comes with its own myths and misconceptions.
Mhm.
I always use the seatbelt example. Nobody wore a seatbelt until they were taught about the value of a seatbelt. And I use that example because it's like that tool, first from the education, is now life-saving. You don't see too many people not wearing a seatbelt anymore. I mean, there's a huge fine that comes with it, but there's a reason that a huge fine comes with it, is because they want to save lives. So when we don't have the right information, we struggle to make better decisions, and our life is pretty much an accumulation of our decisions. So is there any myths or misconceptions around your industry? Normally I have a few: real estate agent, roofer, plastic surgeon, lawyer, etc. I'm just unfamiliar with your industries. You're the first one of you on the show. Even though I've used your stuff, it's not something that is, I don't know, that overly saturated. I just don't know. So are there any myths, misconceptions that you could bring to the table and help clarify for us?
Absolutely. So a lot of people, when they come see us, they're like, "Oh, wow, this is so cool, so fun." It is for the consumer, because they get to, they get to bounce around and have so much fun, but they don't see the back end of what we do.
Sure.
It literally takes over our entire summer. We have no summer. We don't have weekends off. We don't have the weekdays off, because during our weekends, we are doing pickups. Like when people come, we're there all night handing them out. Mostly Saturdays, then we're doing TSSA deliveries. Then we are doing soft play deliveries. So that's our whole Saturday. Sunday, everybody's returning. So we're still there. We're taking everything back. And then literally from Monday to Friday, we are cleaning. And then weather plays a big factor. So if the weather is not good, we can't clean. We're stressed. By Wednesday, if it's still raining, we're like, how are we going to get this done by Friday pickups? So that's a huge one. And we really, really strive to have the cleanest bouncy castles. Like you can lick them. I mean, I still wouldn't suggest it, but you can if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's a really big, it's a lot. It's a lot of work on the back ends. And I don't think people realize how much work goes into it. Insurance, that's a huge one. People think, oh, I'm just gonna like rent some bouncy castles, but insurance is crazy for us, because I know people have been seeing, bouncy castles flying up in the air, and none of ours ever have, and we will keep it that way, because we really strive to like keep the safety. That's like our main thing. Like, we have kids, we know what it's all about, so our safety is our top priority in this industry. People don't realize that, because they're like, oh, well, it's just, why are you canceling? It's, it's just a little bit of wind. But for me, it doesn't matter if, I don't know, that to me is like, nope. I'm not taking anybody's safety for granted. And no, we would cancel. And yeah, so there's a lot that plays behind the scenes, and weather and all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah, I imagine running a business, there's just people care about the result, right? To get this one thing of result, there could be 100 things behind it. Not exactly the same with us, but being marketing, there's digital ads, there's print ads, there's content, there's events, there's this and that. So people see this little quick flash of something, like they read an article that takes them 5 minutes to read. They see an ad that takes them, 2 seconds to look at, an event that takes them 2 hours to experience. All of that took maybe weeks, months to build. So yeah, business is tough, certainly. Do you guys have a brick and mortar?
So we do, but not for consumers to like come and view things.
Storage.
But it's just essentially our warehouse. That's where clients come and pick up. But yeah, not for them to view, but definitely for them to come and pick up the items that they're renting.
Okay. And so when you said cleaning can sometimes be dependent on weather, I'm assuming you guys clean outside because of how much space it takes up?
Yep.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, you'd have to have a huge warehouse to lay those things out flat and clean them, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So people view them on your website?
Yes.
Okay. And what can people expect in a cost? Like I remember Actually, no, I don't remember what we paid because we paid one big lump sum for everything, including yours and many other things. I remember the cost of the event, but not your stuff. So what can people expect like on average? How about we do this? What's a entry level? What's a mid end? What's a high end?
Yeah, for sure. So our smallest like little bouncy castle, probably good for kids 5 and under. It's probably like a 10 by 11 bouncer. So that one goes for $160 for the whole weekend plus taxes.
Okay.
So then our next one up would probably be a great one for kids. I would say 12 and under. And that one ranges for about $235 for the whole weekend as well. And then our top one, our biggest unit right now, it's about $425. It's a huge, huge, huge obstacle course.
Is that the one that we had?
No,
it was huge.
That was huge too.
Yeah,
that wasn't the biggest one. So we have another bigger one now after. Yeah. So that one's about $425 for the whole weekend.
And then do you have things outside? Like you have the dunk tank as well.
Yep.
Yes. So what can people get outside of the bouncy castle? The dunk tank, for anybody listening, it's just a hell of an experience, especially if you have kids coming up and throwing balls to knock you in. Everybody just has a fantastic time. I think I got dunked around 24 times altogether. I was soggy by the end of it, but when you see the look, they're just spazzing out to knock you in there. They just love it. So outside of the dunk tank, outside of the bouncy castle, is there any other part of the product line?
So our soft play, so that's for the kids like 5 and under.
Right.
We also have tables and chairs. We also have movie screens, so you can do like a movie night. So we have those as well.
Like a projection screen?
Yeah, projection screens. And then we also have like our fun food concessions. So we have a popcorn machine, the snow cone machine, and the cotton candy machines.
Yeah, so you can make almost an entire like little fair in your backyard. Absolutely. Which is very cool. So somebody could spend multiple of thousands of dollars if the event is big enough.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, is there what if somebody, we have an affluent audience and, areas like Midhurst and Springwater and Horseshoe Valley, Shanty Bay, these places, some of these yards are massive. So if they want to do some big do for their 12-year-old daughter or son, could they spend like 6 or 7 or 8 grand on a huge party? Is that even possible?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you absolutely.
Okay. Well, there you go.
If you get all the biggest units, I mean, maybe not 8 grand, but like maybe like 5. Yeah. I think that would be like that top line there, like 5 grand for like everything you can possibly think of.
So you got the big bouncy castle, you got the dunk tank, you got the popcorn machine, you got the snow cone machine. There's probably something else that I'm forgetting in there, but at least they know the grandeur of an event that they could have. And then your starting entry fee is like, what did you say, $150 or something?
Yep, $160. Yes.
So there you go. You have quite a range, and there's lots of fun to be had with that spend there. I love that. Pivoting into you a little bit. I know you are consumed by your work a fair bit, as you just shared with us. But what puts a smile on Justyna's face when it's people can't answer with family and they can't answer with work? So what gets you going? Do you like yoga? Do you like reading? Are you a surfboarder? Are you a hidden, world-class pianist? What do you do?
I love the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
So I am a die-hard Backstreet Boys fan. I have been to all their concerts. If they're in town, it doesn't matter if I have a rental. I will make my husband do it, and I'm going. I will be there. I will not miss it for anything. So absolutely, Backstreet Boys, like number one. I will be there.
Just a diehard fan for Backstreet Boys.
Absolutely.
So, and this happened from young age, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, whenever, I don't know, like 12 years old, 10 years old. Oh yeah.
And they're still touring?
They are.
Aren't those guys around 45 or 50 now?
They are. Yep.
And they can still hang in there. They still
got it. They still
got it. Yes. Backstreet Boys, awesome. Anything else that you could bring us into? You an animal person? Like what else? You can't be doing Backstreet Boys all the time.
No, can't not. Well, we do. I love the water. Like, the beach.
Yeah.
Take me there and I'm there. I love that. We have a little trailer just up north, not too far from here. So whenever we do have a minute, we try to get up there and just enjoy nature and spend time at the fire and go fishing. Just relaxing.
Yeah, love it. So we got a little nature.
Yes.
We got the entrepreneur. We got mom and wife, and we got a diehard Backstreet Boy fan.
You got it.
There we go. There we go, people. Now you know what Justyna likes. If you really want to make her smile, get her Backstreet Boy tickets.
Absolutely.
There's the plug. Let's talk about hard things. I have all my rules for life written on my arm here. I like to tell people that I take life very seriously so that I can have a lot of fun doing it. And one of the things is doing hard things. And this question is really about the trials and tribulations that a human goes through. And I think it's a very important conversation because I think a lot of us stuff down our hardships. It's like being depressed or being anxious or going through a death or some unforeseen thing like COVID or choosing to go through a very hard thing in business or in life. They're part of the journey. And in many cases, I do look at our hardships as the springboard to incredible growth. I know certainly for me and in other experiences of people in my life, and I read it all the time in books, that it is the hard things that push us to become greater much faster. Whereas if everything is going perfectly in my life, like if I say I want to grow a business and tomorrow it's grown, if I want to be a perfect parent and tomorrow I am, I want to, get a master's degree and tomorrow I do with the snap of my fingers, I think life would get pretty boring because you didn't earn any of those things. They're just kind of given to you. Whereas when you go through your own battle, coming out the other end, winning or losing, you've grown as an individual. And I think sometimes that's the most beautiful part about the journey is not what did I get material wise, but it's like, who did I become through this process? So we love to ask the guests on the show, any trials and tribulations, hardships that you've been through personally or in business, whatever you're comfortable sharing, that when you went through it probably sucked in the moment, as hard as a symptom, right? We don't like the way it feels. It's uncomfortable. But when you look back in hindsight, you would not remove that ingredient from the recipe that has become you, because it's led you to enjoying your life as you do today.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of things. So
I'm sure you're human. We all have them.
Yep, 100%. So one of them, of course, I do suffer from mental health issues. That's been probably since I was, I don't know, 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
So that's been an ongoing struggle. But I have learned to deal with it. I have learned, like little tricks and little things that can help me and just keep pushing myself to be a better person, be a better mom. And yeah, another thing was like, we did have our son really early. I was 22 when I had him. So that was really hard. All our friends were out partying and we're like, here, let's babysit,
Yeah.
So that was hard, very, very hard, but I wouldn't change that for anything. He is, both of our kids are amazing, but, yeah, it's funny that you actually mentioned that because we were actually talking about that the other day and we're like, damn, like we did really good with both of them. Like, we're like, damn, like to be two young, stupid little kids, essentially, to have kids and then they grow up and you're looking at them and you're like, wow.
How did we do that? We did all right.
We actually did really good.
And what did you say he was now? 16?
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16.
First off, I appreciate you sharing, especially the mental health thing. I've shared many, many times on here that I'm an addictions counselor on the weekend, but the only reason I am an addictions counselor on the weekend is because I busted both my legs in an accident about 37 now, 26. Yeah, 11 years ago. And from that came painkillers pretty badly, right? A pretty strong dependency to them, which just spirals your life out of control. All of a sudden, you don't recognize who you are anymore. And you either decide to continue to spiral down or you decide, I'm going to take control of my life, learn new skills, how to get out of this. And then you come out a different version of yourself with these new skills from battling this demon. And that led to now giving back on the weekends as an addiction counselor for the last 3 years, which gives me a huge sense of fulfillment, knowing that you're even a tiny little ingredient in these people's lives through some form of transformation of living a better life. It's a great thing, but people don't like talking about mental health all that much. Although I will say it's great to be a part of this generation, this time that we live in. It's talked about much more now than ever. Like you just be having the courage to say it right now. 20 years ago, most people probably wouldn't have said anything. No,
not even like 5 years ago, like 6, 7, it's been such a taboo.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Now, living that with such a young age, do you think it's helped make you better? Like, do you wish you didn't have it? Do you wish it wasn't there? Knowing the struggles that you
like the anxieties? Absolutely. I do. I really do. Because I feel like, and I still struggle with it every day, but I feel like if it wasn't there, maybe I'd be like a little bit more, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Like maybe it would help me. I don't know. Like even being on the podcast, I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I've never done this before. My husband's like, dude, you'll be fine. And I'm like,
yeah, you're killing it.
And I'm like, I don't, I'm not like, I hate talking and I hate talking about myself and I just hate all of it.
Oh, you're pretty good at it. So you're handling it. So obviously you developed some skills along the way. And I just feel like when we're faced with these bigger challenges, especially when they are forced upon us, like mental health, for example. If you just find out that you have ADHD or you have anxiety or you have compulsive disorders, things like that, that's now a part of your life. So maybe you have to try a little harder to develop these things to have a sense of normalcy. And maybe that ends up making us a better parent or a better leader or a better son or brother or daughter or wife. I haven't met too many people where they're like, I really wish this never happened to me. Most people are like, no, now that it's a part of me, it's maybe who I am. And without kind of being forced to address this, I wouldn't have developed in the way that I have. So it's amazing that a lot of times our hardships have led to such beautiful developments. It's like the pain was the answer to my reward, which is a very, what's the word? It's a conflicted thing that we wrestle with in our mind. It's like pain equals positive in many cases, but yeah, that's the case. It could also be, in the gym, for example, fitness is the foundation of my life. People who have been in the gym for a long time know that growth starts when the pain starts. So in many cases, people are going to the gym and not feeling satisfied until the pain kicks in. And any other sport, typically there's pain. Runners know that their lungs start to burn. And so in a lot of cases, we push ourselves, mental stress when you're studying or working hard, being an entrepreneur, the mental stress that you've had, but you've been working at it for 4 years. If you look back to who you were 4 years ago, before you started the business, to who you are now, I bet you're a much better, much more effective business operator now, 4 years later, from going through a lot of stressful things. So it's a pretty interesting concept that often we seek pleasure and it makes us worse. Whereas if we understand the value of facing our fears or addressing our discomfort and leaning into it a little bit, the reward can be exceptional. Have you found that to be, you've already answered it pretty much, but would you say that has been true to some degree in your life?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even just being a mom at 22, it's got to be hard as shit.
Oh God. I'm like, what did we get ourselves into?
Yeah. And it's something I have a great deal of respect for. Not a father yet. I wanted to wait till, everybody tells me there's no perfect time. Being 37 now, I'm going to be a bit of an older dad if I ever get the privilege to do it. But I look at it as the highest privilege for a human being to literally be able to make another human being and give a lifelong commitment to that. Relationships can break apart. People can separate apart. But when you've created another human being, no matter where you are in the world, distance apart, you are intrinsically connected. And, the people who take being a parent very seriously are saying, I've committed to you for life. For as long as I'm around, I will do my best to support you. There's no bigger commitment, and I think there's no greater responsibility. So I very much hope to be a parent one day. I have a lot of respect for people like yourself out there making it happen and running your business and trying to enjoy your life. I think it's very cool. Moving on a little bit here. I like this thought experiment. So you got 500 to 1,000 of people that you can help with your business in an audience. They put you on stage. They give you the mic for 90 seconds, 60 to 90 seconds. What do you say to these people? Like, they're all looking at you and basically saying, like, how does your business help me? And you tell them what?
Oh my God, see, you're putting my anxiety on the spot now. What do I tell them? Oh my God, I'll be like, you need to rent from us because we're awesome.
Perfect.
And that's it. There's no more to it. We're awesome. We have, like, the best bouncers ever. Your kids will have so much fun. It's like a free babysitter. Seriously. Well, I mean, you always want to watch your kids, but from afar.
Yeah. I bet you that's one of the biggest wins right there. Like, let me give my kid a bouncy castle for 4 hours so I can get a little bit of peace, and I'll just keep a close eye and have a glass of wine and a pizza, whatever. That's probably the biggest selling point.
Right there. See, that's it. I didn't have to say much. Free babysitter right there.
Yeah, you did like 10 seconds and it's just checking a bunch of boxes. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, I love it. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you, Justyna?
So they can go to our website. That's probably the best because all our products are on there. So it's www.innisfilbackyardbounce.com. Or they can call us, they can email us, text me, however you want. We have options.
Do you guys have Facebook or Instagram?
Yes, we do. Yep. So it's Innisfil Backyard Bounce.
Beautiful. For both?
For both, yes.
Okay. So you guys can go see them on Facebook. You can see them on Instagram. You can check out their website. Any last remarks for how you enjoy your business, this journey that you've been on for 4 years, starting in COVID, total shot in the dark? I mean, let's build a bouncy castle business in the middle of a pandemic, which no one knows what the fuck's going on at all. And you guys succeeded, like had an incredible start to a journey, which is super, super rare. Any last remarks about your business, specifically to your audience, specifically, like anything else you want to say?
Yeah. Like, this is my baby now. Like, this is my baby. I love what we've created. I'm really proud of it. Like, from not really having to know anything about, bouncy castles, to now being, I can fix them. I can stitch them up and fix them. But, I really take a lot of pride in it. I'm really excited where the future will take us. Hopefully, bigger and better things. But at the same time, even if we're just kind of where we're at, I'm really content with that. I'm happy. I love all our customers. People come back 4 years ago and they're like, oh my God, like you guys, like you've grown. And I'm like, yeah, we have. And it's just nice to hear that. And it's nice to have the people come back. It's nice. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, Justyna, you've been great. And again, I will say this, we used her stuff and it was fantastic. I think it was one of the biggest reasons why we were able to donate so much money to the charities that we were focused on, which was a Bradford Christmas. Actually, I know for sure because people kept paying more and more and more to dunk us. And then they're like, if you dunk it again, we'll match that last amount. And if you hit 10 dunks, we'll do this and we'll do that. Like, we hugely surpassed our goal for raising for charity. And we wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys. You guys delivered it. I know it was a public event, but you set it up, you delivered it, you took care of it, you picked it up. You made sure that we were set up with the dunk tanks because I'd never used it before. So you made sure that we had our insurance, who was allowed to use it, who wasn't allowed to use it, so that everybody was safe. Everybody felt safe, and it was super fun.
That's what I love to hear.
Yeah, so it was great. And you've been a pleasure to speak to. It's been a blast having you on your show. And until we talk again, you have a great rest of your, Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com or call 705-413-3775.
Well, That was easy. You were super easy to speak to. You did great.
Thank you. God, it makes me so nervous.
Yeah, well, you did well, and you own that nervousness. You even said it, and which takes a huge deal of courage. You just took it right on the chin. And when people hear this, they're going to be like, she was openly honest about it and still was super fun, lively, smiling, engaging, answering questions.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com or call 705-413-3775.